Welcome to this festive tutorial. I'm going to be describing a simple model of the digestive system. The words for this model have been supplied by my Y8 science class, particularly Chloe B, Katie and Michael. The human digestive system is a complex series of organs and glands that really is a long tube that runs from the mouth to the anus. It breaks down our food into useful nutrients that we can use in our bodies to let us live. What I'm going to do now is go on and describe each process one part at a time. The process begins in the mouth. This is the mouth. When we eat food, such as this banana here, that's a big bite, or biscuits, the teeth begin to mechanically break down the food, like so. Let's have a few more biscuits, quite hungry this morning, and a little bit more banana. In addition to this mechanical process, which is really around the jaw and the teeth, the chemical process begins with an enzyme that's you'll find in saliva. It's amylase. This is mixed with liquid in our saliva, and that begins the process of breaking down the larger molecules within the food into smaller ones. This is why you should always eat with your mouth closed. Let's have a little bit more saliva and a little bit more food. I'm very hungry today. And in goes the last of the banana. Hopefully, because we've learnt to chew our food properly, it's fairly well broken down before we swallow it. When food is swallowed, it travels down a long tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. This tube is called the esophagus. It is muscular. What it does, it has wave-like rhythmic motion that pushes the food down. Ask yourself, could you still eat food if you were standing on your head? You can, because it pushes it into your stomach whatever way, and that is known as peristalsis. Here comes the stomach. The stomach is essentially a large bag-like organ at the end of the esophagus, into which the chewed food, including our enzymes from saliva, falls into. There we go. This bag, very specially lined because it has to contain both the food and some very acidic chemicals known as stomach acid. Stomach acid here is essentially hydrochloric acid, pH 1, and other digestive juices. In it goes. And that is also mixed around inside the stomach. The acid further breaks down the food, and along with other enzymes, this one is called protease, targets proteins to be broken down. Further advances the process of digestion. Now this can take up to 4, maybe longer, 6 hours to be churned around, mixing with those chemicals. Okay, there we go. That's a nice full stomach. At this point, our food moves on to the principal, or the most important organ in the entire digestive system, the small intestine. I have to say, the small intestine does not look like this. The small intestine is in fact a very long thin tube, up to 22 feet long, that is very tightly curled within our bodies. But what it does is it folds in on itself to give it a massive surface area. The walls of this lining, known as villi, are incredibly thin, up to only 1 cell thick, covered in fine capillaries that allow food molecules, broken down ones, to transfer into the bloodstream and be carried under our bodies to give us energy. Okay, so we'll use this tray for the small intestine, imagining now how it's laying out the surface area with inside. So the food, digested now in the stomach, passes in to the small intestine. Here, a final set of chemicals from other organs and glands associated with the digestive system, the liver, the gallbladder and the pancreas, add enzymes such as carbohydrates to break down, that's right, carbohydrates, lipase to break down lipids, not the common name, but the common name of which is fats, so to break down the fats. And because we have all that acid in there, we need something to neutralise it. Okay, the stomach has a very strong lining to withstand that acid. Other parts of the digestive system do not. So bile from the gallbladder neutralises that acid. So we have there a fabulous mix of digestive chemicals and broken down food. And within the very fine structures known as villi, which have a very large surface area, as I explained, and a high rate of absorption, they, imagine like the sponge, begin to take out the small molecules broken down by our enzymes here and transfer them across the cell walls of the villi into the capillaries and onto the bloodstream, and those nutrients pass around our body. Okay, and as you can see, we'll take out all the goodness. See how the sponge is absorbing. That process will also take several hours. After the digested food now, with the final range of digestive chemicals, which has been neutralised from the acid by the bile, has moved through the small intestine, it moves on to the large intestine. Okay. And you'll see not a very appetising mix, is it? The large intestine does not have or add many other chemicals. It has a very different job. I'm going to use this tight. Okay, so in goes any remaining food, which is a lot of moisture, as you can see, a lot of water and other undigested parts of our food. Remember, substances such as fibre are not absorbed by the body. In it goes. And here it is. And the job of the large intestine, you've guessed it, is to take all the water out. Okay, so all the water comes out in this part, used by our bodies, useful substance, and as you can see that comes out, but all the undigested food particles, mainly fibre, but there are other things in there as well, move through the large intestine, though sometimes known as the colon, and eventually end up almost at the end of our journey in the rectum. Now, that is stored there until it's full and you feel the need, the urge to get rid of it. At which point, the final part of our journey, the undigested food, is deposited, hopefully somewhere appropriate, like the toilet. And that is the end of the digestive process. Thank you very much.